So we have this video. Now we add some visual effects, a moving object, a shape, text, a picture. In Vegas, our timeline looks like this. Here we had to add more tracks to make these visual effects happen. If we make more of them, like add another text here, we will need more tracks. And in the end, the timeline will look messy and it will be hard to keep track of everything. To make the timeline neat and tidy so that instead of 5 tracks it would be just this one, we use nested timelines. So if we want an effect, instead of stacking new tracks here in the main timeline, we can simply put all of them on a separate timeline in a separate Vegas file that will be connected to this one. We'll be able to see all of the effects here in the main timeline, but all the tracks for these effects, all the building blocks, they will be kept on that separate timeline. That separate timeline is called a nested timeline. We can make a nested timeline by first clicking on an event to which we want to add effects. In this case, it's this background, and then choose Create Nested Timeline. Vegas asks us to save the nested timeline because it will be a separate Vegas project file. And now you can add whatever tracks and files you want in this nested timeline without adding anything to the main one. When you're done with adding tracks, you can switch back to the main or parent timeline by clicking Open Parent Timeline. You can also switch back from it to the nested timeline by clicking Open Nested Timeline. It is important to remember, though, that no compositing modes, track motion, or any effects applied to the whole track in the parent timeline will be transferred to nested timelines. It includes track opacity. If we lower it in the parent timeline and then go back to the nested timeline, there's no change.